All right, so we have a Rotary event tonight. Rotary Club of Mont-Tremblant, Quebec. And this is their theme. So, care for the world. Give a donation, care for the world. These are the Rotary Club members and helpers, volunteers, les bénévoles qui travaillent fort aujourd'hui en préparation pour le souper, the wine and cheese tonight. And they have agreed to allow us to make it a waste-free event, seeing as the donations are going to local charities and those people in need. And this is my environmentalist, activist, partner in crime, Katya. All right, so here we go. So these kind people have allowed us to come on here and reorganize. So we've just arrived, and we're already starting to triage. As you can see, we have food and aluminum and actually muffins, full muffins in there that we're going to triage, and we're going to make containers for recycling and for composting and for food to be donated at the end of the night. So we're going to triage. As Cassia's doing this, actually, I'll film. Are you okay me doing this? Okay. So we have plastic packaging, definitely can be recycled. Aluminum packaging, we will have to wash it. You don't have to wash it anymore because they sterilize it in the at the sort of factory end of things, or the triage end of the recycling. But it's usually human beings at the other end as well. So just to be kind, we generally wash. So we'll do some rinsing and washing. Everything that was in that garbage bin was actually recycling. Fabulous, except for, the vinyl, these guys, I pay for a program through TerraCycle out of Toronto, a young entrepreneur who set it up, and he upcycles or recycles everything or repurposes every single thing. So number 6, plastic, which is not accepted, and vinyl. And I'll just go in here and see. Unfortunately, I didn't come up with this idea until after they had bought their vinyl tablecloths, and unfortunately, better if it would have been paper, or even to compost, or even better, reusable, because they have this event almost every year. They've had it at least the last 3 years that I know of, and unfortunately, these get ripped and thrown out. So what I did last year, took them all home, washed them, and donated to school. Ones to be used for like art projects, that kind of thing. And the rest I actually put in the program that I pay for through TerraCycle to be recycled, but vinyl can't be, like those gloves. All right, so here we go. This is just so you know, this is where the event is being held. We're going to make an announcement when we start tonight about, Thanksgiving, and about using only what you need, taking only what you need, and so people don't waste on their plates, because we certainly can't donate that food, because it's cheeses and pâtés, unless it was a municipal composting program, like this will be composted at home where I do it, where I can't put, or Katsia can't put oils or cheese, milk products, or meat in the compost. So, all right, so here we go. We're going to do some labeling of containers so they can triage easily in the kitchen. And when we do cleanup at the end of the night, what we'll probably end up doing is labeling some containers for the food that has maybe, someone took one piece of, off a piece of cheese at the table, and the piece of cheese is still left. People can take it home to their families. Of course, we can't actually donate that to a legitimate organization like for the homeless or for youth, because once it's been opened and been touched, then it's sort of what they consider contaminated and not safe. But we can certainly let people take it home and make use of it. And we will contact for the packaging that hasn't been opened and hasn't been sold. So items like the food, like this beautiful pâté, and these cheeses, on peut les donner s'ils sont pas emballés, déemballés, I guess you say in French. There we go, and that could be donated. So we have a maison des jeunes, we have organization that will take food to people in need in the area. All right, I'm going to shut this off and we'll get started organizing our bins. The longer I talk, the more Katya does. Maybe I should just keep talking. All right, step 2, étape 2. Donc, we have recycling. We have compost. So far it's empty. We've taken everything else home. And if they're not sure, goes there. Kathy and I will take care of after. And these are the non-acceptable materials. So there was some carpeting in there from earlier. Vinyl. So this will send to TerraCycle. And
these right now, they can go in the recycling?
Yeah. Okay. And we'll have to wait. Yep, perfect. Unless you want to save that for later for wrapping your cheese after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go here. Wow, look at all this. Woo. Oh, all right. So this is packaging for people who can take pieces of cheese and pate home later if they want. It's gonna go in the garbage. I'll take this one, needs to get triaged for... Oh yeah, okay. Are you finished with it or do you want me to wait?
Well, I only have just for this, so you can go ahead. I don't have 4 bags and a couple of stands.
Okay.
Very well.
Fabulous. Okay.
Take a picture of that because I'm going to block it off so nobody puts stuff.
So we're going to recycle this. And so it's interesting how it's sort of a change of thinking. Like even the vinyl, we mentioned the vinyl tablecloths. Like, oh yeah, but you get that at the dollar store, it doesn't matter. Well, 2 years in a row we've donated it to schools and I've taken care of them. But you know what? They'll think we'll wash them and someone will take them home. It can be reused next year. Okay. Well, they said that maybe you can rent real ones for next year. All right, so we just realized that this is the base de plein air in, where are we? In, what is it called? Is it called the base de plein air in Mont-Tremblant? Okay. Lac Masquinongé, c'est ça? I come from here and you think I would know. Anyway, so this is their poubelle. We thought we were just going to block it off. Katya said we'll just block it because we have our system in the kitchen. This is in the dining room. And I do remember last year the tea being served here and everything going in the garbage here. We thought we'll just block it off, but then I realized, oh, there's something in here. And I don't know if you can see with the lighting what's in here. Here, I'll take it out. Someone threw out a perfectly good cookie tin. One thing about these, everything in here is recycling. So this must be we first started today. Was it us? Or maybe it was the organization who runs this place. So Katsia is going to take this home. Best thing ever, rather than recycling, is actually reusing, because then it's not in the waste stream at all. Because, as I was reminded earlier, basically all you do once something is produced is you're extending its life before it ends up back in the earth. So this is definitely recycling. All of this is just plastic packaging. So we're going to empty this, recycle it, and we're going to, Katya's already done it. She's blocked it off, and we don't even see the word poubelle.
And we're not going to put a garbage can back under there.
Yay! Waste free! Okay, and I guess the next time we will meet will be tonight. Maybe someone will videotape us making a quick announcement about waste free. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going through that bin that was outside of the kitchen. Well, that's actually not true. This one is from getting the hors d'oeuvres plates ready. This is for grapes. So I put all the plastic in the recycling. You get little grapes in there, little aerated bags. Can't really reuse those so much. But one thing to do with plastic, and I do ask you, and most people don't know, is to put them together, because plastic like this, when the truck comes and empties the recycling, they often will get lifted up by the wind, and then that causes the plastic island issue that we have now, because it goes basically, the wind carries it along the street, and then it goes into the waterways and into the ocean, yada yada. So they ask that you put all your plastic together so it weighs it down, so less likely that the plastic will fly out when it's being emptied into the truck, from the truck to the triaging plant, the other end. Okay. All right, so we we're just on our way out, just finishing up. Katya noticed that there were plastic glasses as well as glass glasses for water. So we're going to take away the plastic glasses. It's a case of, just because you can doesn't mean you should, so we're just going to take them away. Because people will use them because they're there, but if they're not there, they won't use them and they won't miss them. I'm going to mention something else we're going to do later, but we'll do it right now. One thing I was going to do was take this recycling to their recycling outside here, but because this is considered a business, it may be affected by something interesting that's been happening throughout Quebec, that businesses have been told, at least I know Saint-Sever and Morin Heights are been told, that they can no longer recycle. Businesses, the municipalities have told them that the businesses, they will not accept recycling from businesses anymore, which is a terrible, terrible thing considering the industry. If you and I are recycling, we're making one little dent. But then if you're a business, like it was a pet store as the first example that I had of that, of all the plastic packaging in that they have, and cardboard, it wasn't being accepted. And so everything was going in their garbage, which makes no sense because that's landfill the municipality has to pay for and find the real estate for. It's actually, they get money for recycling. So it just shows us that the system is still dysfunctional. It's not, we haven't really connected all the dots and still has to happen, but it's such a sad thing. So spread the word if you know, and we'll start some petitions and get this sorted out. All right.
We're good?
So we have the president of the Mont-Tremblant Rotary Club, le président. C'est Normand, and your last name is?
Nieminen.
Nieminen, because you come from Finland.
Well, my grandfather and my grandparents actually comes from crossed over in 1915.
Oh wow, that's amazing. You've been in Quebec before?
I was born here.
Yeah. So he's taken on the presidency and organizing all of the events with his équipe, my équipe. Donc, I just wanted to ask you how you, thank you, by the way, for doing the work that you do for the community. Really, really important work.
That's what we like to do.
And this night is always a really terrific one. I've been for the last 3. That's just Katya, who's behind the camera right now. And it's a wonderful event, fundraising event. Where does it go?
Well, it goes at many places. We make breakfast for the kids at school. We give money to Isig Football, which is to counteract the décrochage scolaire.
Leaving the school, yes. Yeah.
Going from French to English there. And a lot of the school in Labelle, we give money for school things, and it goes many places.
Pour les jeunes, plupart c'est des jeunes.
Pour les jeunes, ouais, pour qu'ils restent à l'école, puis qu'ils mangent bien, puis c'est des causes qu'on aime. L'international, ben, c'est plus pour l'eau, l'eau potable, des choses comme ça.
That's right, and you actually helped me to go to Ghana.
Yeah.
When I went to
Few
Ghana
years
and
ago.
I did volunteering teaching there and saw what projects were being supported by the Cornwall Rotary Club there.
Yeah.
And they were developing schools and nursing programs and putting in wells in communities so that kids could stay in there.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's where the money goes. So thank you for allowing us to come and make this a waste-free event.
Waste-free event is a
How does
good
that,
idea.
yeah. How does that feel for you? Do you think it's like
Well,
more work, more effort?
Not really, but it's, we try to recycle like everybody else, cardboard and basic stuff. But you go a little further, and that's good. Teaches us to do that at our home, actually. So we're really glad you're here.
Good, thank you. Do you think
It's a plus for the event.
yeah? Do you think it's possible? Do you think à la fin de la soirée, on va avoir bien
Of course it's
noté?
possible. Je pense que oui, on va le voir à la fin de la soirée. Là, puis il y a juste la nourriture, on va essayer de rester ça aussi. Non, c'est bien. Si on pouvait instaurer ça pour les années futures, ce serait un plus pour notre activité. Vraiment.
Parfait.
Merci.
On se parle tantôt. À la fin de la soirée, si on aura le temps.
Oui, OK.
Si on aura le temps, ça je sais.
Dans quelques heures.
C'est ça. So we'll have a good evening and then
Thank you.
we'll talk later.
Thanks.
Okay. So, we are now the day after the wine and cheese, le vin et fromage. And as you can see, I'm actually standing over I don't know, half a bag of garbage. And those dreaded dollar store vinyl tablecloths, very thin, really break, and unfortunately can't be recycled because they're vinyl. And I will, what I'm going to do with those, I collected them all, I will clean them, and what I did last year was donated them to the school, to the art department. But I think what I'm going to do this year is donate them through either Renaissance in Montreal or Les Samaritaines where we are here. They're basically organizations that, take donations for free from people and sell them at reasonable prices, or even donate them to families in need. But generally, they are for sale, but at reasonable cost. So, because these are, I think all of these, except for maybe one that I put my thumb through, and I was collecting them last night, are actually still really, so good to be used. And unfortunately, the organization is going to rent next year. They've decided they're going to start to rent real ones, and or fortunately, I guess, but they're not keeping them, to sort of repurpose them, and that would be the best thing, is you just keep them in circulation, right? But we'll keep them in circulation, but give them to someone else. But their lifespan, unfortunately, when it's cheap like that, lifespan is really limited, and of course they can't, with most of our recycling programs, vinyl's not accepted, so they're not repurposed, they're not upcycled, they're not anything. They're just landfill. And plastic like that, and like plastic like this, I mean, we're talking, 50 to 100 years, if not more, depending on the situation in the landfill system, or some of them are even burned, because, of course, we have also some places burn the garbage. It's incineration as opposed to landfill, but most places in the area where we are, Quebec, Ontario, it's landfill anyway. So now, ta-da! I will, this is what's basically left over in terms of food. So what we did is, I was reminded yesterday, Katya reminded me about systems, and she was talking to Normand, that it's basically all about setting up systems. And once you have a system set up, could be in your home, could be in a school, could be in this situation just for an event. We had the bins all labeled and everybody knew what was going on. And then we also made an announcement beginning. Then everybody was on board, and we just basically, you just went about the evening as we would normally, except for a few things. What we triaged in the kitchen was recycling, compost, and then food coming in off of the tables, not as in off of someone's plate. Off of someone's plate went right into the compost, and that's this bag here. So I'm now going to put that in my compost. It's going to be a very happy compost. The food actually that was on platters on the table, or in the case like the nuts, it was in bowls, fruit bowls, platters. We can't, because it's been open, crackers, right? We can't legitimately sort of donate it because of legality, right? In terms of, contamination, it's been opened, who's touched it, blah, blah, blah. So like a formal donation couldn't be done through the Rotary Club, but I myself as just a regular person, individual, I can do a personal donation. And I called up a local women's shelter and said, hey, the women want to spoil themselves and have pate that they probably could normally afford, probably would never try, blue cheeses, look at all the cheeses in here, right? Cheeses that were on platters, they haven't been touched, people haven't licked them or anything. They look a little bit crappy right now because they're smushed inside saran wrap, but and they would not really probably buy them. Some of these cheeses are like $20 for a slab of cheese. Look, this is cranberry bison terrine, I think that's what I keep forgetting what the name is called when it's like another name for pate. And so like, who goes and buys that really for themselves? Most people don't. Special occasion, but again, it's expensive. So this is a bread that already been cut, right? So you could also, dry this, put this into stuffing and that kind of thing. If I really wanted to do that, I could. So look at all this good food. Last year, this was basically thrown away. So the only thing that's not here is there are apples. There were a platter of apples on each table, and those ones have actually, because they can be washed and cleaned and They haven't been like fondled, we assume. Those are go. The Rotary has a breakfast food program and a snack program at some of our local schools, and so they go into that food program, which is kind of nice. But obviously we can't do nuts with the school and all of these sort of things here, so I'll go to the women's shelter. So I have the compost to go put in the compost. I have this to drop off, and of course, the other thing we did too yesterday, we haven't done in previous years, is made an announcement to people. Look, if there are any cheeses left on the platters, please feel free. Let us know that you'd like to take it, and then we'll wrap it up. And people took it, and people were more than happy to do that. It was like, oh, I really, that's what wine cheese is for. One is fundraising, but also a little bit of education. It's like, oh, I really like that cheese, so or pate, and so people wrapped them up and took them home. So it was really nice. It was it actually even changed the atmosphere of the event. I found it wasn't so formal. It was more kind of working together for all these great initiatives. Okay, this bag here are the gloves, the plastic or latex gloves, and I don't think most municipalities still don't recycle them, which is too bad because they can be repurposed as those gloves, right? Why not? So this is what we're left with. So I'll donate that. Clean them. Ugh, not looking forward to it. It's now just below 0 today, so it's going to be cold to do that. Drop these off, compost that like I said, and this bag will go into the TerraCycle recycling program that I'm a part of, that I pay for. I'll put that in my box to send to them. And yummy, yummy, I get to go through this and triage. And I didn't mention this, I don't think, but this, unfortunately, Katya and I were not in the kitchen at the time, and a dishwasher showed up who hadn't been there earlier in the day, and someone gave him, or he must have pulled over a garbage and just was basically scraping off the plates that were coming in. On one end, there was 2 entrances to the kitchen, and so to the dishwasher entrance, or little doorway, people were giving him plates. He wasn't informed, and he felt terrible after. He was a really nice young kid, and I said, don't worry about it, I'll triage it. He said, well, nobody told me. So kind of that was a learning experience for us. So anyway, this is a lot better than this last year and the year before, where I think I had 4 full bags of garbage that I went through. This year it's 1/2 a bag, and it doesn't look too gross, but I'm used to it by now. So that's us. That's what you would call a waste-free event. Not bad, eh? Okay. That's all she wrote for now.